Growing up, I was a little fearful of my mom. I knew that my mom was there for us, she cared for us, but a lot of words and situations that happened and were exchanged made me really feel hurt and rejected as a daughter. So something happened when I was in my 20s. One day I was in the toilet and I accidentally broke a glass panel. So it went cha, and then there were all pieces of glass all over the floor. My mom came in, and the first thing she said was to scold me. And then I really felt very hurt and very angry. I guess on hindsight, it's because I would love and expect my mom to come caring for me if I've cut myself because it's glass, right? But the first thing I heard is harshness. And we started arguing. And I just wanted to bolt out of the house. And my mom didn't give me the keys. And I got so angry, I took out a knife from the kitchen and I threatened her, if you don't give me a key, I would slash myself. So these incidents happened at least quite a few times, and I think it just showed me that there were so many cracks in our relationship. A lot of hurt, a lot of anger, and at that point in time, I really felt like it was so hard to have peace in my family, and I think I felt very broken inside. I accepted Christ in 2015. My mom accepted Christ 1 year after me, which is 2016. And actually, he started healing our relationship. One day I went home to have soup, and then the argument started again. So I went to the room. I locked myself in the room, and I told God, God, why? I want to spend time with my mom, but everything is in disarray and all that, and I don't want to drink her soup. And actually, I felt God speaking to me through the Holy Spirit that you go drink her soup, So I obeyed, so I went out and I drank the soup. But while drinking the soup, half of my mind is I'm going to get out of the house after I finish drinking the soup. But God stopped me and told me to stay. I'm like, stay? I'm like, what good can come out from staying? But nonetheless, I obeyed. And my mom was still by the side, nagging and telling me about what things I didn't do right or wrong and all that, and on and on and on and on and on. And suddenly I burst out crying and saying these words. I'm never good enough for you. No matter what I do, I'm never good enough for you. Jia is always better than me. I didn't even know these words existed inside of me. But I guess that was my inner cry inside my heart that I never knew. And my mom stopped in her tracks and she suddenly got very worried when looking at me. And she herself started crying and said, sorry, I didn't know you were feeling like that. Mommy never meant to hurt you this way. And then both of us started crying and then we hugged. I think that incident that happened was the start of mending of our relationship. I remember once I was in Korea, Busan. We were at this beautiful seaside cafe, So my mom bought 2 cakes and some coffee. So I was helping her carry everything on the tray, and suddenly I slipped and fell on the staircase, and everything started crashing on the floor. And I was like, deja vu, right? Glasses everywhere again, it's like everything on the floor, the cake's so expensive. I'm like, oh no, my mom is gonna scold me. And that was my immediate reaction. And then my mom from the cafe, she heard everything. Then she came running out of the cafe. I was like, oh no, what's gonna happen? And then suddenly she was like, Aling! Ayo, what happened to you? Then she picked me up. Ayo, do you get cut? Do you get hurt? Oh, ayo. And then she was like, fussing and worrying over me, wondering if I got cut and all that. Then I was like, wow, God, you taught my mom how to love me. I realized that God in turn actually used me to love my mom in ways that she could really feel it. Once there was an occasion where I left the house, so we'll say bye, right? And then I had a prompting to go and hug my mom. I'm like, hug my mom? I'm like, that's too much, God. Because we are a family who doesn't say love, 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 or hug, or hold hand, those kind. But nonetheless, I felt like God is always right. So I went back and gave her one of the most awkward hugs I ever gave anyone. And I went over and hugged my mom like a robot. And she actually hugged me back. So the next time, I continued doing that. And step by step, I realized that my mom likes it. It is her love language. And slowly you can see things like turning around between me and my mom, and the way we start to show affections for one another. Yeah. Looking back, I get reminded of what a broken relationship I had with my mom growing up in my 20s. There are a lot of broken pieces that I tried to piece back myself, but sometimes I get cut in the process and it hurts. And you feel a sense of hopelessness. But now I know that God restores, and 5 years down the road, now I still go to church with my mom every week. I sometimes hold her hands. We can sit down and have a meal together without arguing and quarreling. We learn how to accept one another and our weaknesses and our strengths. Of course, I must add that we are not a perfect family. Sometimes there's still cracks, but I feel there's so much hope. And now more and more, I grow to understand my mom. I see things from her perspective, and I think she sees things from mine as well. And I'm just so thankful for hope in our family. Maybe when you're watching this, you might think to yourself the broken pieces of your family and your life, and you think that there's no hope. I just want to reassure you, and I want to share with you that God's love never fails, and He can restore and He can heal you and your whole family.